So it's a bit like a carnival parade. Suits the song. A lot of people meeting together, having a good time, as opposed to staying at home and using the internet and all getting angry with each other.
'Cause perpetual motion is flooding the ocean and bringing us all back home.
Hello, welcome to Wishing Well Studio, which is where I recorded the album Flooding the Ocean. And the title track is called Perpetual Motion, which contains the lyric Flooding the Ocean. And people who've seen me live know that this song, the chorus to this song came to me as I was swimming in the Wallen Sea, which is a massive, beautiful lake in amongst the Alps in Switzerland. It was just such a beautiful thing. It wasn't so long after lockdown that was a memory of being enclosed and being cut off from the world, or feeling like that at least. And then suddenly there you are out in nature and realising it's not about the internet. It's, the internet was a useful thing around that time to keep in touch. But really, the thing that makes us happy, the thing that warms our hearts is human interaction and interaction with nature, which is why there's a lot of imagery in the lyrics about the nature, but also a lot of telephone lines. And it's just that juxtaposition of the technical world and the real world. And I know which one makes me happier. So I'm just going to break down the track because I did that with another song and people seem to like that. As always, the basic premise is you could just leave the vocal and the acoustic guitar and the arrangement would stand alone. Let's go through. So the introduction, it's 3 times through the main guitar theme. And it starts off sounding a bit garbled. That's on purpose. Then the drum comes in and the sound clears up. Then the bass and the electric guitar come in.
We were promised we'd be free. You just signed the letter.
Then the first verse is just as live, guitar and vocal.
There's nothing better.
Now that garbled sound is an effect, the effect of a really messed up tape machine, and anyone who's my age or older will know about cassette tapes and what happens if you leave them in the sun or get them. They get messed up, and it does something weird to the sound, which is actually quite nice sometimes. So the whole thought for me was that sort of make it sound, it's acoustic, it's an acoustic guitar, but it's the technical side of things has garbled it and made it sound a little bit weird, and then that gradually clears up. Plus every time it repeats, something new happens. The drum comes in, then the third time the bass and the electric guitar come in, but not in a way that overpowers the acoustic guitar. And then the fourth time the vocal comes in with the first verse. Everything else disappears, so you just focus back in on the message, on the lyrics. So let's listen from there.
We'd be free, you just signed the letter. It's a never-blooming tree, there's nothing better. They can sand it down the wire, it'll set your mind on fire.
And at that point, it's very, very subtle, but at that point, the harmonium comes in, and that's a bit of a theme on this album. I use the harmonium quite a lot. The harmonium, I'll put a picture in of that. Is a pedal organ. It's an acoustic instrument. It's a very beautiful, serene sound. I'll just play this. So it's just underneath the guitar.
You must never leave your...
So the effect of it all together is...
Can sand it down the wire, it'll set your mind on fire.
Turned up a bit.
You must never leave your...
So you probably hardly notice it's there, but it has a smoothing and calming effect on the sound, which I liked. It drops out again. What do we get now?
You'll be happy all alone. You can brag and boast.
Then some stuff comes in.
We can plug into the wall.
The whole thing opens up.
So
if you're listening on headphones, you'll hear that in the stereo field. In the width, you've got drums on either side of your head, and the vocal and the guitar down the middle, and then the chorus, you've got backing vocals. So every chorus I built it up. So the first chorus has just got a lower voice. So I'm singing, the main voice is singing, perpetual motion is flooding the ocean. And then there's a lower voice, perpetual motion is flooding the ocean and bringing us all back home. Or something like that. I can't remember. And with every chorus, another voice, the next one, a higher voice comes in, and then the next one, an even higher voice comes in. It's all me, but that doesn't matter. And the bass is quite busy. I wanted the bass in this song. In a lot of the songs, the bass is just there to add some warmth underneath and not get in the way. And here I wanted the bass to be quite melodic, like a lead guitar, but in a way that didn't get in the way. So if you follow the bass line with your ear, you might hear some nice little melodic things. There's no thinking behind it. I just jammed it, and I wanted it to sound very organic and disorganized. I think they call that psychedelic. So it's quite rough as well. And it's played with the plectrum to make it poke through more. And I wanted to have that percussive sound about it as well, so that's why it's with the pick, played quite close to the bridge, like so it's kind of almost like an electric guitar. It is an electric guitar, electric bass guitar. So let's hear all that together. Constant promotion of senseless devotion. It's a dog who's buried his bone. Turn it up. If there's a raging human smile. So that's that, and then it goes for the second verse back down just to the time vocal. Light reveal it, like a bolt across the sky. And I wanted the vocals to sound quite dry, it's quite intimate, so it's just like the listener and the voice with the words, but I wanted it also to have a resonance. So instead of putting reverb, like a large hall sound on as an effect on the vocal, I put a delay, like a little mini echo, like an Elvis delay. Feel it, like a bolt across the sky, an open heart can steal it. So just very fast echo. I can't remember how I did that, but it might interest some people. Let's have a look, see what it is. It's just a delay. So it's an echo machine, yep. People don't realise how much time in recording is actually put into not just the sounds of the instruments, but the space that you put them in acoustically. So whether you make them sound tight, close, which makes them feel up front, or if you put some kind of echo or room sound on them, hall sound, that makes them sound further away. And then you can make it a wide sound or a narrow sound, and all of that has a psychoacoustic effect on the listener, and can be the difference between, yeah, sounds all right, and wow, I've got hairs on the back of my neck or my hands. So that's what I'm looking for when I've eventually come to mix a song. It's the question artists always ask: how do you know when to stop painting? When you know you're finished. And it's the same with mixing a song. You can overmix, you can go too far, or you can make something that sounded good sound not as good, subjectively anyway. And I just wait for the moment where I go, that's it. I just know it's a feeling, and you can sing. It took me quite a long time to reach that with this song, even though I really liked the sounds of all the instruments and the vocals and the arrangement. It took a while to find that magic moment. In a sparrow song, to nature you belong. So when I'm singing about you can sing a sparrow's song and to nature you belong, suddenly these ethereal sounds come in. On one side it's the harmonium, so on your right side it's the harmonium, the little organ thing again on some high notes, and on the other side it's a Fender Stratocaster guitar, the Jimi Hendrix guitar, with a little bit of whammy bar, very just to change the pitch slightly and make it sound a bit ethereal on a very clean sound. So I'll play those sounds to you. Let's hear it with the guitar then. Then the next verse, there's another world out there where you can and some little twiddles, of course. You have to do twiddles. Electric guitar, it's impossible not to. And that's when the electric guitar starts doubling and harmonizing the acoustic guitar riff. So we'll just hear those together. Because when things keep coming back, it's nice to just subtly change something about the way that it comes back. When you play live, you almost don't even need that. That's why I don't understand, I mean, each their own, but that's why I don't understand bands that play to backing tracks. There's a lot of live bands these days try and make everything sound exactly like the album. So when you go and see a band, all of the overdubs that they had on the album will be played through a computer and they're playing along to it. And I just think you don't need that. All that stuff's there to make an album sound interesting. A live performance, you have the energy. That's the way I think about it anyway. We've got more voices in now. Let's hear what the harmonies are all doing. Have we got all of them?
The ocean and bringing us all back home. Constant promotion of senseless devotion. It's a dog who's buried his bone.
Yeah, so that sounds like lots of people. It's all me. I just stood at various different distances from the microphone, as I did throughout the whole album, and doubled each harmony line. I had low harmonies, high harmonies, and ones that sort of floated around in between to give the whole thing that effect of lots of people having a good old sing-song in a room, which is what I like my gigs to be like. That's the dog who's lost his or buried his bone. I was having a bit of a party as I was recording the vocal track. I like that roar. I left it in. I just did that on the first take and thought, yep, keep that. That's silly and I like it. This is the breakdown. Good to look at the percussion now. So at this point, there's just a massive bass drum and a djembe just doing some quite simple stuff. I mean, it's me, so I'm not a drummer. And that's maybe a little bit of the charm of the whole thing. I decided to play everything on this album, even instruments that I don't really play, to give it that sort of campfire jam sound. It doesn't, it's quite organic and experimental. If you get a room full of experts everyone's an expert on their own instrument, and you get some great players together, you'll get a very, very polished sound, and I love that as well. But on this one, I wanted it to be a bit sort of homemade. I wanted it to be good, but you have a chance to try again if it doesn't work out. So we've got this here. So it's quite loose. It's not a Brazilian samba band, but it's got a bit of groove to it. So there's a massive marching band bass drum that I put here in the middle of the room and hit with a felt beater, like a big beefy thing. Boom, boom, boom. And maybe I was doing that with a foot pedal actually, because at the same time I was playing djembe, which you can hear in the left ear. That's a hand drum. I can't get it into shot because it's so big. That's a traditional West African drum. And then we've got this North African dabuka, which is a much higher sound. Brought this back from Morocco, and so that's in your right ear, and they're bouncing off each other. In the middle you've got the big bass drum, and you can also, I love these things, you can hear a cabasa. We used to have one of these at school and I didn't know what it was, and nobody seemed to know what it was. It's a South American instrument, just a load of beads, and it's like a shaker, but you can do that as well. Can't really play that properly either, but it was fun experimenting and getting this kind of groovy thing going on. So it's a bit like a carnival parade. Suits the song. A lot of people meeting together, having a good time, as opposed to staying at home and using the internet and all getting angry with each other. So everything together.
Constant promotion of senseless devotion. It's a dog who's buried his bone. Perpetual motion is flooding the ocean and bringing us all back home.
So on that final chorus, it's in the live version as well, I decided to reharmonise the chorus. So instead of using the normal chords, I kind of look for some jazzy chords. So the melody of the song stays the same, but the framing of it, so it makes the same melody sound different because you're playing different chords. Because in almost all cases, every chord that fits, there's another one that would also fit in the right context. Some people can just do that off the top of their head. I need a bit of time to work that out.
The ocean and bringing us all back home. And constant promotion of senseless devotion.
And the other thing that happens, just to draw attention down to that guitar and just make it sound different and change the focus, there's a filter on the drums. What does that mean? Well, in this case, the high frequencies have been filtered out, so you only hear like a low, makes it sound more distant. You hear that a lot in techno music. And then it opens up gradually. Here it comes, the opening. You hear the filter lifting. Then you start hearing the higher hits on the djembe, and everything's back, fully open again, fully clear. That's just the drums. So we'll just listen to the end of the song. That's where we'll have the filter coming up, and then to the end of the song.
Back home. And constant promotion of senseless devotion. It's a dog who's buried his bone.
So there you go. That's everything that's happening in that song. It's just vocals and guitar. You could leave that all the way through. I'll do that. I'll put that version up. And but there's also some electric bass playing quite melodically. There's a group of percussionists, and there's some singing. There is an electric guitar doing sort of long pling notes just to add some sparkle. There's a harmonium that's adding a little bit of sort of smoothness. That's it. That's all there is. So there's not actually that many tracks, and it's one of the busiest songs on the album. I always try to make the most out of the least, if you know what I mean. Rather than, a lot of people like to stack up hundreds of tracks. I prefer to, I've always played in smaller bands as well. Roller Penny started off as a duo with Katie Doherty back when we were at university. Then we had Roger Purvis on the mandolin, so we were a 3-piece, and we used to try and sound like a 10-piece. I mean, don't know if we managed, but we used to try and pull as much interest as possible out of that. And since then, I've played with Mark Bloomer in Broom Besoms. We're almost always a duo. Same thing, and now I play solo a lot as well, and that's a challenge I like as well, to try and pull as much interest. So same approach, just with a few more possibilities on the album. I hope you enjoyed that rundown of how that song works, Perpetual Motion, and I'll do another one at some point. So take care of yourselves, and let me know what you thought of the arrangement, or of the presentation, or of any songs you'd like me to do. Just put something in the comments. And while I'm here, and since it's on YouTube, like and subscribe, because that is a really massive help for next time I post something.